Claus Philipp Maria Justinian Schenk Graf von Stauffenberg was a high-ranking officer of the German army, known as one of the leaders of the 20 July Plot and Operation Valkyrie, the largest uprising carried out by German soldiers and civilians against the Nazi regime. Claus was born on November 15, 1907 into a noble German family. Following his family's tradition, he pursued a military career and joined his family's traditional regiment, the WWII Regiment 17, in 1926 in Bamberg. In 1930, he was commissioned as a lieutenant, and by September 1939, he took part in Nazi Germany's invasion of Poland. Before this, he had already been encouraged by his uncle Nicholas Graf, along with Fritz Dietloff, to join the movement against Hitler's regime. However, it was only after the invasion of Poland that Claus began to doubt Hitler's methods, but he continued to fight for the army. In 1943, he was promoted to Lieutenant Colonel of the General Staff on April 7, 1943, during a battle in which Claus was driving and directing his unit from one point to another. They were attacked by several fighter planes. He was severely wounded and spent 3 months in the hospital recovering. He lost his left eye, right hand, and 2 fingers on his left hand, but he still managed to joke that he never really knew what to do with so many fingers when he still had all of them. He was awarded the Gold Wound Badge and the Gold German Cross, some of the highest military honors, and the following year he was appointed Chief of Staff of the Commander of the Reserve Army. During his recovery, Claus had the time to reflect and gradually change his views on Hitler. It is said that although he was not directly involved in or commanding the persecution of Jews, what he witnessed, the torture and mass killings of people because of their race, deeply conflicted with his moral values as a practicing Catholic. He also saw a widespread violation of laws, the murder of innocent civilians, and the military collapse of Germany after devastating losses such as Stalingrad, a major defeat caused by Hitler's micromanagement and refusal to listen to military advice. Claus began joining others conspiring against Hitler and was introduced to other high-ranking military leaders such as Henning von Treschow, General Friedrich Albrecht, and others. Together, they formed a plan. Number 1. They would use Operation Valkyrie as a plan for a coup. The conspirators decided to use the military plan called Operation Valkyrie, an original plan approved by Hitler himself. Its purpose was to maintain order within Germany in case of chaos, uprising by slave laborers, or bombing disasters that could disrupt communication. They altered the plan to overthrow Hitler's regime, seize control of the army, arrest Nazi party leaders, and take control of key cities. Number 2. Claus himself would carry out the assassination. As Chief of Staff of the Reserve Army, Claus was able to attend meetings and regularly come close to Hitler. He knew that what he was about to do was an act of high treason, but under the natural law, he believed it was the only way to save millions of lives from Hitler's criminal aggression. They devised a plan to place a bomb inside a briefcase and set it near Hitler during the meeting. Claus had to activate the timer, leave the room, wait for the explosion, and then escape. Afterwards, he would activate Operation Valkyrie. Number 3. The 20 July Plot. On July 20, 1944, Claus carried out the plan at the Wolf's Lair, where a meeting with Hitler was to take place. He temporarily left the conference room to another room to activate the 2 explosives inside his briefcase using special pliers. However, this was very difficult for him since he had no right hand and only 3 fingers on his left hand. He managed to arm only one of the bombs before a guard entered and told him to hurry because the meeting was about to begin. He left the second bomb with his aide-de-camp, Lieutenant Werner von Hiften, returned to the conference room, and placed the briefcase under the table as close to Hitler as he could. A few minutes later, he received a planned phone call, giving him an excuse to leave the room. Unfortunately, after he left, Colonel Heinz Brandt moved the briefcase and placed it beside a solid oak table leg. When the bomb exploded, Claus was convinced that no one in the meeting could have survived. However, because of Brandt's action, only 4 people were killed, and the thick table leg shielded Hitler, who was only slightly injured. Claus did not check the conference room and immediately fled with his aide-de-camp. When he joined his co-conspirators, he urged them to carry out the second phase of their plan, but they soon heard on the radio that Hitler had survived. When Hitler later spoke on the radio, they realized that the coup had failed. That same day, their group was quickly captured. Claus's superior and fellow conspirator General Friedrich Fromm betrayed them and saved himself. He sentenced Claus von Stauffenberg, Lieutenant Werner von Heften, General Albrecht, and Albrecht Merz von Kirnheim to death. Before 1 a.m., they were brought to the courtyard of the Bendler Block, a building complex in Berlin, Germany. Truck headlights illuminated the courtyard as they were lined up. Claus was third, and his aide-de-camp, Lieutenant Werner von Heften, was fourth. A makeshift firing squad carried out the execution. When it was Claus's turn to be shot, Lieutenant von Heften stepped in front of him and took the bullets meant for Claus. When it was finally Claus's turn, he shouted, "Long live Germany!" or according to some accounts, "Long live secret Germany!" General Fromm ordered the executed officers to be buried immediately with military honors. But the next day, Hitler's soldiers exhumed Claus's body, stripped it of its badges and insignia, and had it cremated. That's all for today. What can you say about Claus von Stauffenberg's history? Comment down below. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell.